Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of my Trove Let's Play series. Today we are on the Shadow Hunter because I have for you today another 21k PR class. This is my 21.1k Shadow Hunter, kind of following the trend. If you guys haven't caught on yet, this is kind of where the Let's Play series is going, is showing you guys my mains. Right now I have like around 5 21k PR proper statted mains. That's why I call them mains, because they're actually properly statted 21k PR classes. First was Neon Ninja, then Pirate Captain, kind of. I was like 54 PR off, but then I switched them all to my Gunslinger, and you guys see my Gunslinger's PR, so, obviously I was, just trying to move gems over at that point, but I'll show you guys Gunslinger next video. Today is about the Shadow Hunter, and the Shadow Hunter is my third 21k PR main. Oh no, someone's here. Oh no, someone caught up to me. I went really, really far, so people wouldn't be doing the dungeons around me, so I might have to find a new world here, but, yeah. Shadow Hunter is my third 21k PR to show you guys. I'm going to show you guys its stats. As a quick disclaimer, I'm actually min-maxing my Neon Ninja right now, so I am moving gems back and forth between the classes. I'll show you all my gems and stuff like that, but just as a heads up, I might actually be remaking a updated version of my Shadow Hunter and my Neon Ninja once I'm done with min-maxing my Neon Ninja and moving all the gems around. But for now, this is how it is for now. So right now, my Shadow Hunter is like the hand-me-down class for me. If something isn't good enough for my Neon Ninja, I move it to my Shadow Hunter. So the Shadow Hunter is straight up just like hand-me-down gems, hand-me-down everything. Like everything's like un-min-maxed and stuff like that because it's not good enough for my Neon Ninja. I'm trying to min-max that guy. But these are still decent stats. Right now I have 142k physical damage, 87 move speed because I always use move speed. A lot of people always question if I use move speed on all my classes. Yes. Move speed is very overpowered. You get 87 move speed with all move speed gear, which is almost a mount, plus I use trailblazing, if you see right here. So, really, really good setup. Next up is 104% critical hit. So the last time I showed you guys my Shadow Hunter, I believe I showed you my stats. I hope I did, because I had around 100.1% critical hit. It was nearly perfect. It was 0.1 off of perfect. And I had around 1.4k CD. So I did drop a little bit CD and add a little bit critical hit because, again, I'm switching my gems around. And there was a good gem on my Shadow Hunter. If you guys see my Neon Ninja, my Neon Ninja had like 110% critical hit. Well, I took some of that critical hit and put on my Shadow Hunter because, like I said, I'm kind of like moving the gems down. The gems that are not good, I'm moving them down to my Shadow Hunter because my Shadow Hunter is my next favorite PD class. So I did drop a little bit of stats here. Still decent for 21k in terms of like a unproperly or unmin-maxed 21k. It's just a standard 21k that most people, if you're 21k and you don't farm 24/7, this is probably what you have around 21k. And then let me show you my gems, because this is mainly why my stats suck. So I have a 2-star, so yes, I'm a 21.1k Shadow Hunter with a 2-star empowered gem. So yeah, I could have much higher PR, that's what, another 215 PR right there. So I'd be around 21.3k if I had this 3-star. But since it's a 2-star, you don't get all 3 bonus rolls because it has to roll that extra stat. I did get lucky enough to at least get triple DPS stats. But 1 went into critical hit and 1 went into physical damage, I believe. So yeah, not even the best 2-star, because both of them should have went into physical damage. But one of them actually went into critical hit. So it rolled critical hit as a 3rd stat, and then the 2nd bonus roll went into critical hit, which is not good. So I have a really bad clash gem. I have a really bad empowered gem right here. This one went 2 into max health, 1 into physical damage, and it just has max health in general. That's really, really bad. I actually used to have this on my Neon Ninja, and I moved it down because I got a better empowered gem. I actually used to rock this on my Neon Ninja. That's why my Neon Ninja used to have like 700k HP because of this gem. It's so insane with HP. And then I have this gem again. It went 2 into max health, or no, 2 into physical damage, 1 into max health, and it just has max health. That's not good, right? So those are my empowered gems. My physical damage empowered gems suck really bad. You guys know that. I have like the worst physical damage empowered gems and then the best magic damage empowered gems. When I show you guys my 21k Gunslinger, you are going to be drooling over those empowered gems because I have literally perfect empowered gems. Like technically perfect. They're exactly perfect empowered gems on my Gunslinger. So I cannot wait to show you guys the Gunslinger. And then the gems are pretty low PR because, again, they're like hand-me-downs. So none of them are above 1.6k. They're all pretty standard. These both are really bad. I think I switched these off my Neon Ninja and onto my Shadow Hunter. I used to rock these on my Neon Ninja. Look at that critical hit right there. 13.7% critical hit. And then 10% each one. Like, these are all bad. Not a single Not a single good lesser gem. But again, decent for a standard 21k. As like an alt main, I like to call them mains because they're all 21k PR, like properly statted 21ks. That's why I like to call them my mains. Like I have 5 mains in the game. Neon Ninja being my top main, like my actual main, and then the other ones are 21ks that I could play and do whatever I want with them. You know, they're properly statted. I could just switch the class and start playing. That's why I like to call them mains, but I do the quotations, right? So decent setup. As you can see, I'm using Marshall, Conjurers, and Trailblazing. S4 ring, you know, just in case you guys want to see all my gear. Move speed, fizz damage, crit damage. I like to have the crit damage because the crit damage is pretty low. When it comes to Neon Ninja, you don't need crit damage on your gear because you one-shot the bosses. On the Shadowhunter, you don't one-shot because, you know, you're doing damage over time. You're doing a lot of hits at once, but it's still, you know, it's still incremental. So you still want some crit damage, in my opinion. Plus, you can't get attack speed on it, so there's nothing else for it, right? So you use move speed, fizz damage, crit damage, move speed, jump, crit damage, and then move speed, magic find, crit damage, and then Rat Berserker, obviously. So that's pretty much the entire setup. A lot of people wanted me to go over my entire setup whenever I do these videos. And then I could give my, since I already go over the classes when I do the level 30 videos, you know, I give my opinions on the classes at level 30. That's why I want to take up like most of the video with stats and all my gear and stuff like that first, and then I can give you a quick summary just in case you haven't watched the level 30 video of it or the Clash Gem video of this class. Plus, it's been a very long time since I talked about the Shadowhunter. Shadowhunter was actually one of my first classes I ever got my Clash Gem on. I think it was my second ever class I ever got the Clash Gem on. First was Rev. I think I did Rev, Shadowhunter, and then Neon Ninja. Because again, Neon Ninja isn't really good until 16 to 18k PR. So that's why, you know, even back then, Neon Ninja was my main, but I couldn't play it yet, you know, because I like to do everything efficiently and as, you know, as fast as possible. So that's why Shadowhunter came before Neon Ninja. Shadowhunter was actually my first 10k PR. If you watch my first ever 10k PR video, that was the Shadowhunter, which actually reminds me, I never did like a 10k PR series. I just did my first 10k, and then the rest was just level 30s and stuff, which I guess I kind of missed out on that. But, you know, whatever. We skipped 10k, we skipped 20k. Oh, I got a stellar too. Nice. I even skipped 20k every class. I'm just going straight to 21k. We're skipping all the minimal stuff. We're just going straight to the top. 21k every single class, eventually. But yeah, that's kind of where the series is going. Yeah, I knew he would do some of the dungeons around me. But yeah, Shadowhunter, just in case you haven't been watching for a while, because that's kind of what I was explaining. Shadowhunter, I haven't really discussed in a long time because he was actually, you know, my first level, one of my first level 30s, one of my first ever Clash Gems, stuff like that. I haven't spoke about him in a while. If you have watched my top classes video, you already know kind of my opinions on him. I love the Shadowhunter. If I'm not feeling the Neon Ninja, because, you know, the Neon Ninjas is pretty hectic. Pretty hectic. In terms of Trove, like, it's not like the most hectic gameplay in the entire world, but in Trove's terms, it's the most hectic you can have because it's the fastest class, has the most to it, it has the most, you know, buttons per minute that you have to click of any class in the entire game. So in terms of Trove, it's the most hectic playstyle. So when I'm not feeling that, because sometimes I'm not, you know, sometimes I'm like, I don't really want to be flipping 24/7 or moving super fast 24/7. I just kind of want to kick back, relax, maybe, you know, just listen to some music and grind mindlessly instead of grind efficiently. Because, you know, again, it's the same thing with like the death-defying thing that has been going on the past couple days. Some people aren't just, they don't care about efficiency. They just want to have the most fun play style. And sometimes I like that too. Again, sometimes I actually like that. So that's where my Shadowhunter and my Pirate Captain comes in. I did rep the Pirate Captain if you did watch the 21k PR Pirate Captain video. No more Pirate Captain. Pirate Captain has no gems on him right now. Obviously, if I ever want to, I can just switch the gems back and forth, but that's a lot of wasted qubits, so I don't like doing that. So the Shadowhunter is currently my laid-back class. If I'm not feeling that super fast gameplay of the Neon Ninja, I just go to the Shadowhunter, and it's fun. I love the Shadowhunter. There's nothing wrong with the Shadowhunter, in my opinion. It's just, it has some bugs with it, but it's not that bad. Right now, the biggest thing is hit registration with the Shadowhunter. Sometimes, if the servers are a little laggy, they're not actually laggy right now, which I'm pretty surprised, because it's actually been a long time since I've not actually had the hits not register. But if the servers are very laggy, then it takes like 2 to 3 seconds before the mobs even get hit by your arrows. Even if you're like sitting in the mob's face, shooting them in the face with, you know, 12 arrows per second, It'll take like 2 to 3 seconds before they start registering, which is really annoying. Yeah, right now it's going pretty well, and I'm actually having a lot of fun. That's kind of where the Shadow Hunter is for me right now. It's like my main alt farming class. The Pirate Captain used to be my alternate farming class if I'm not feeling the Neon Ninja, but now it's the Shadow Hunter since I have the Gunslinger, and the Gunslinger is really bad at farming, to be honest. It's like really slow, because you're actually having to spam a lot of potions if you want your ultimate. The way you play the Gunslinger, I'll go over the Gunslinger in more detail tomorrow, but just in case you want to know right now, since I am talking about the Gunslinger, the way you want to use the Gunslinger actually is you use Unyielding. Actually, I use Unyielding because I only have 120k HP. So I use Unyielding and Chronomantic. I actually don't use Arcane at all because the Gunslinger already has a I almost said a bad word. It already has a lot of damage with its ultimate up for U9, so you actually don't need Arcane. You can just go with, you know, Chronomantic and Unyielding. If you have some HP, like right now I have 400k HP. Also, I use Conjurers on my Gunslinger, by the way, just in case you were wondering, which is why I use Unyielding. If you have around 400k HP, you could just go straight up Trailblazing and Martial, like on the Shadow Hunter. If you're playing Gunslinger, you go straight up Trailblazing and Chronomantic. Again, you don't need Arcane when farming with the Gunslinger. But, yeah, you gotta set up with what the stats you got. My Gunslinger has the lowest HP you can have possible, so I need Unyielding. If I don't use Unyielding, then I'll die. That's just how it is. Because Death-Defying, I'm not going to talk about it, but Death-Defying is just bad for farming. In terms of me, I want to be as efficient as possible, so like Death-Defying would consume like 3 charges per dungeon, or I can use 1 charge per dungeon and just use Unyielding and be as fast, because again, the Gunslinger does so much damage. This guy has some HP. My Neon Ninja has some HP because they have very bad Empower Gems. So I just go full out, you know, Trailblazing and damage, stuff like that. Actually, on Neon Ninja, I don't use any damage because you one-shot mobs, so I use Zealous and Trailblazing. But, you know, we'll do videos for those classes when I make the videos for those classes. This is the end of the Shadow Hunter. I love the Shadow Hunter. Very fun. I can't wait to show you guys more 21Ks because I'm actually very excited to be able to be like, yeah, I got all these 21Ks. And they're not health regen stats. They're not... they got some health on them, but that's just from Empower Gems, not actually like lesser gems. Eventually, I'm going to have all 15 classes 21K. That's where the series is going, or this series is going, is all 21Ks with actual proper stats. Right now I have 5, so I'm a third of the way there. But I only grind on Wednesdays. I actually don't grind any time besides Wednesdays, so I never gain any boxes besides Wednesdays. So I try to go all out on Wednesdays to try to catch up, but since I do a lot of carries and stuff like that, I don't really have time to farm. So eventually, I'll have all 15 classes, but for now I have 5, and we'll get to those classes when I get to those classes. But that is going to be it for this video. Really quick before we go, as I mentioned last time, I am partnered with Humble Bundle, and I am very bad at advertising it, but I do, since it is the end of the video and not many people watch the end anyways, I like to catch you guys that are, you know, the most supportive. So this week's Humble Bundle is actually called the Humble Very Positive Bundle. Every purchase you make, you can decide what goes to charity, what goes to the devs of the game, and what goes to me, and the website Humble Bundle. The main game that I found in this week's Humble Bundle is Crashlands. I actually was planning to make a Let's Play series of Crashlands when it first came out because it's actually a couple years old by now. But I ended up actually just playing it on my mobile device. I played on my iPad. You know, it actually has cross save, so if you play on PC and mobile, you could take the save over, and I ended up just playing on iPad. That's why I never had a series for it. But it is a pretty fun game, and I do recommend it. It's only like $6, and you get like 8 games for this week's Humble Bundle, so definitely check that out in the description below. Plus, since it is the beginning of the month, there is a new Humble Monthly, which is Humble Bundle's way of, again, you get like $100 worth of games for a $12 subscription every month. So it's, you know, again, a lot of value. It all goes to charity, me, and the website, plus the devs. And this month's Humble Monthly bundle is Stellaris. Like that's the main game. They like to do like one main game for the month that you get early, and then you have to wait a month for the rest of the games. This month's is Stellaris, which is an early access, I actually believe, game, but it's still pretty fun, and I might be doing some videos on it. But yeah, those are all in the description below, or if you wait till the end of the video, you can click on my Humble Bundle kind of end card thing. But that is actually going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you give it a like, and if you haven't yet, click that subscribe button plus the bell next to it so you can be notified whenever I upload a video. If you would like to further support the channel, make sure to check out my Humble Bundle affiliate links in the description below. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time.